It's the 31st of October, and I think it's fair to say that summer is most definitely over. If you're from the UK, or if you're from anywhere around Europe or some parts of the US, you know that the weather is going to be fairly bleak over the next few months. And what better time would it be to lock yourself away and focus on the big goals that you still have yet to achieve for this year? See, a lot of top performers out there live their life in seasons, and this involves a season of monk mode, which I know a lot of you guys will be familiar with. I've mentioned that on this channel a couple of times, and I think monk mode is definitely key to becoming successful, particularly in the early stages of your entrepreneurial kind of online business career. And I do believe that despite some of the negatives that monk mode does offer, that it is probably essential to get into where you need to be at some period in your life. Iman Gadzhi is a great example of someone who successfully undertakes monk mode for periods of his life. He will go through 2, 3, up to 6 months of his life where he's just solely focused on big goals that he has set out to achieve and just focusing on those tasks every single day. Then he'll go and have 1 month, maybe 6 weeks or so off, where he's kind of just enjoying himself, relaxing a bit more, still obviously focusing on work and keeping those good habits, but kind of just letting loose a bit and having fun. And I think that is quite a good way to live, and I think if you did live that kind of lifestyle, that would be quite good. You'd probably quite enjoy that lifestyle, right? And I think particularly if you are someone, like I mentioned, who feels that you've not really justified yourself over the last 10 months, like I say, where it's the last day of October, we've got about 60 days left of 2023. If you've not really achieved those goals that you wanted to achieve this year, for example, myself, I set out some big goals, 3 main goals to achieve this year around January time. And I'm yet to achieve those 3 goals. I'm somewhat close to all of them in a way, 1 or 2 more than one of them. But I still believe that I can achieve these goals that I set out. But it's going to take a lot of effort, and I kind of like that it's coming to the end and there's that pressure on our shoulders to go and achieve this. And I think as being masculine young men, that we want to be more like that, we need this pressure in order to succeed. And I compare this a lot to sports. Like, I'm a massive fan of football myself, I always have been throughout my life, and I consider it's you're in a game of football, it's 1-1 in like the 80th minute, and you've got about 10 minutes left, and you've got to find a goal from somewhere, and you just kind of know inside of you that it's going to come. A lot of these top performers, top athletes, particularly in football, I've had a lot of stories like your Ronaldo's, Messi's, like these types of players, they just know that they're going to find a way. If somehow, they don't know exactly, but they're going to find a way through. And it's just kind of pulling that out the bag somewhere, wherever it may be. It might not be pretty, it might not be exactly how you thought it would be. A lot of stuff in life doesn't really come like that. It's like when we get given a set piece of tasks, a lot of us will just kind of leave it to the last minute. And some this is a bit different example, because when it comes to entrepreneurship and online business, it's kind of out of your control. It's not like you've been given a task and you've just put it off. You've set some really ambitious goals, but I think having those goals in front of you is going to push you over the edge, and it's going to make you put that work in to go out there and just do everything you can. You might not quite achieve it, but I think the chances of you getting a lot more closer to that goal, or being like 5-10% off it, is going to be a lot higher. You're going to get a lot closer to that goal than if you just set a really, really low goal, or just thought, well, I'm not going to achieve it this year, so maybe I'll go again next year. The last 2 months of 23, I'm just not really going to focus on it. I'm just going to kind of have fun and not focus too much on that. I've done what I kind of thought I could do, and I didn't quite get there, but I'll go again next year. So my 3 goals, I'm not going to tell you specifically what they were, but one was to do with making a certain amount of money online, through kind of YouTube and coaching and all of that. Another one was to do with getting to a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube. And the final one was to do with investments in stocks and crypto and stuff. And like I say, I've not hit any of these goals yet, but I feel like with the last 2 months, if I really do go into this kind of monk mode period where I'm cutting off distractions, I'm doing my deep work in the morning, and at the moment I'm in quite a consistent routine of this, of just getting up, doing the same kind of thing every day, and that really does compound. And for me personally, you can probably relate to this as well. I feel like I've just wasted a lot of my youth and time where I could have been doing something productive. I could have started this YouTube channel earlier. I could have gotten into the gym. I could have done these good habits earlier. Obviously, I can look at it like this and be like, oh, I should have done it earlier. But all I can do now is try and make up for that lost time and my poor emotional decision making that I used to make, and make a lot better decisions and just make something on myself, claw back that time that I wasted. And I think that is how a lot of us look at it when we know we've wasted a lot of time over our years, and 16, 17, 18. It took me up to 21 to kind of realise that I was going down a mediocre path. I was going to university. I was just doing what everyone else was doing. I was going out drinking, doing all this bad habits. I didn't have any ambition. I didn't really have any idea of where I wanted my life to go. I was kind of following the scripts and seeing where it ended up. And it was only about probably about a year and a half ago now, where I truly took action on my life. And the snowball effect that can have on your life is huge, and that's what I focus on a lot. Like when it rains, it really does pour in our life, and that is both positively and negatively. When we have this momentum behind us, we really want to get some good momentum behind us, where we're doing the work every day. We're going to the gym, and it's feeling quite easy nowadays. And this all comes from our good habits that we've created. But on the other hand, there can be periods of our life where everything's really difficult. Getting up in the morning is a struggle. Going to the gym is a struggle. Doing work, recording, we've got low energy. We're not feeling it at all. I'm sure you can relate to this, because we all go through periods, and this is normal. And if you have these moments, you shouldn't feel like you're a loser, or that's not normal, or you're just not good enough, because we all go through this. I've been through a lot of periods like this, and I still do. But at the end of the day, when that clock strikes midnight on the 1st of January 2024, nothing is really going to change. And I want you to bear this in mind. I'm not saying just do this for the last 2 months. I think that's quite important for the goals that you set for this year. If you did this at the start of the year, to put that pressure on yourself and be like, yeah, I've got about 60 days, I can make this happen now. But at the end of the day, the weather's still going to be quite shit here. Nothing's really going to change. It's just time has changed, which is kind of an illusion anyway. And you're still going to hopefully have that positive momentum that you've carried over the last 2 months into the January, February, March, when the weather's still, like I say, the weather's not great here, and you don't really have anything else to do other than kind of just focus on your goals, whichever it may be, is for you. And like I say, that is what it's all about, momentum. And I want you to build that up over the next 2 months and moving on into 2024. And I hope this video, I don't want it to be, I'm sure it won't be the sole reason why you go and achieve your goals. I'm sure you're on a good trajectory anyway, but I hope it can give you a bit of a push that you needed to remind yourself that you set these goals at 2023. You have about 60 days where you can just solely focus on this, and I feel like that pressure on your shoulders should be good, and hopefully it kind of gets you over that line. And maybe you'll come back at the end on the 31st of December and be like, oh Thomas, this video was really good, it really helped me get me over the line. I achieved those goals that are really meant a lot to me, that I set out, that I didn't think I would achieve. But just having that kind of someone to push me and to realize that it's not time to give up yet, there's still time to make this happen, that would be great. I would love to hear that, and for yourself, and obviously for me, it would mean a lot if it does come to that. But yeah, whatever it may be for you, I truly hope that you use this time wisely over this winter period, to just focus in on those goals, achieve that, and use that as a catalyst into 2024. But just before I go in this video, if you've got this way to the end, you're probably quite interested in my content. So I just thought I'd let you know that this is probably going to be the last kind of video where I'm kind of just sat down at the camera talking to you. because I feel like I have covered a lot that I want to cover, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, and I want to switch up the content more, make it more engaging and interesting for you too. So that's probably going to change. I'm going to be going away for a few days, so I might make some, I've got a couple of video ideas while I'm away, so it'll be good to be in a bit of a change of scenery, which hopefully you'll enjoy.